Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I want to be testing out a new Pat McGrath release. This is one of her new eyeshadows. It's the mini Sublime Smoke eyeshadow palette. This does retail for $29 and I did pick this up from Sephora. As I understand it, this 6-pan palette is actually comprised of shades that already reside in her collection. It's the Skin Show Divine Glow, Taboo, Bronze Eclipse, Extreme Dusk, Bronze Blaze, and Extreme Mahogany. So I actually don't have any of these shades, or I don't have all of these shades in my collection. It's actually been a while since I've purchased a Pat McGrath palette. I purchased the one for Lunar New Year and I really liked it. I think that was also a 6-pan palette. If I'm not mistaken, it could have been a quad. And now I can't remember, but regardless, prior to that, the last palette that I popped from Pat McGrath was the holiday palette release in 2021. So aside from that one for Lunar New Year, this is one of the first ones that I picked up. And you know, it's digestible now with the prices being pretty high. $29 on a little mini palette is actually quite nice. So I wanted to test the formula of this. I wanted to create just one eye look with it with you guys on camera. Yeah, with not having any of these shades in my collection currently, I thought that this would be nice and kind of an affordable way or semi-affordable way to add to my Pat McGrath eyeshadow collection. So let's just hop right into it. I didn't buy the one that was purple that also released in this mini. So for me, I'm just kind of like seeing in real life, like the actual size of this palette. It is very, very small. It's surprising like how tiny this is and how they can get 6 pans into this. But as far as like eyeshadows go, I haven't hit pan on an eyeshadow in like 3 years. So this is probably, you know, relative to like the Viseart shadows that I get in the size that they are. This is a decent pan size for me, like especially for like kind of putting my finger in if I was gonna apply like the shimmer shades. So I don't mind that it's this small, it's just like an alarmingly small size. I guess when you kind of get it here. What I think I love about this the most is that it doesn't definitely have some like warm tones in here. This shade right here is definitely a warm tone, but you do also have like some warmer tone mattes down here. And so you can create what I think you can probably get like a warmer tone smoky eye out of this. So I'm a little bit excited. I do love the fact that she has a very light shimmer in here, just like how she put this color story together, and then 2, you know, different darker shimmers, because some people do enjoy those. I personally prefer a lighter shimmer in my palette, and I actually prefer when there's an even ratio between like mattes and shimmers when it's a smaller 6-pan, or if it's a quad or something along those lines. Even an 8-pan palette, I would like an even ratio. So I do like the way that this is constructed, honestly, like for my personal preferences. I don't know if the formulation is any different, even though these are shades that she already has in her collection. I wouldn't know because I don't have them, but let's go in. I'm going to use 5 shades out of this. I'm gonna pull this one in first. I'm gonna use this one in the crease, this in the outer corner. I'm definitely going to, I think, use this one kind of in the middle of my lid, and then this one right here is going to go into like the inner part of my lid. So I'm gonna at least test the formula on 5 of these shades. I'm gonna pause quickly and just say that that's really blendable shade. I love the undertone of this because it does have a little bit of warmth. I think this looks really good like on fair skin. And yeah, I'm already liking the tone of this palette, and it was super easy to blend. I definitely am not super familiar with this eyeshadow primer that I tried, but I've used it a couple of times. I do think that it's pretty good, and the shadows seem to sit really nicely or blend really nicely on top of it. So now I'm gonna go and deepen up the crease with this shade. That one was definitely a little bit harder to blend, but I really love mixing the cool tone with the warm tone. And I think like the gradient is gorgeous. Like the way that I'm looking at this now, like the warmer tone on top and the cooler tone like in the crease, I just really like the way that this looks. So it's shaping up to be such a good like smoky eye. I'm really, really happy like with the way that it's looking right now. Now I'm going to deepen up the outer corner with this deep shade here. I think I want to pause here and do some live swatches of this because I was going to do just like a close-up, but I think that it would be cool to just do the live swatches. So I haven't like stuck my finger in any of the shimmer formulas. So I'm just going to start from like left to right, top to bottom. This is like a really pretty champagne shade. It has like a definite like hint of yellow, which is something that I really like in a light shimmer. And it feels very smooth. Like it's not a chunky shimmer or like a metallic. This one is buttery soft, quite pigmented. This next shimmer feels like amazing and smooth, but has like a little bit of tack to it. That is kind of what I was finding on the eyes with this darker shade. It's just that it wasn't like as pigmented or as buildable, I guess, as it kind of looked in the pan. So I'm kind of getting that like out of it, that it's just a more sheer shade. It doesn't have a whole lot of like opacity to it or a whole lot of pigment, for example. I was definitely like building that one up in the outer corner. Like even though I speed through the application, like there are definitely parts I'm gonna end up cutting out where I get really close up to the mirror just so that I can like build. This one is just a buildable shade, but it's more sheer than it looks in the pan. This one is so beautiful. So this is the more like warm tone shimmer. This is a cooler tone shimmer and this is a light shimmer. So in terms of like matching or mixing cool tones with warm tones in this palette, I think that she did a really good job. And I like the way all of them look together. Here is the last matte, the one that I put in the crease. They're very buttery soft. I'm kind of skipping a little, but it's swatched very nicely. So this is definitely my idea of a color story. I definitely like mixing some of the cooler tones with the warmer tones and that light shimmer in there. I think I'm actually gonna go into this cooler tone shimmer here and put this with my finger kind of in the center of my lid. Now into that lighter shimmer on the inner part of my lid. I think that's it for the eye look, you guys. I am going to finish up my makeup and then we will come back and I'm gonna give like my final thoughts on this. You guys, we are back. I have completely finished my makeup. I've even been testing like 2 other new blushes. So I do have like a peachy one on this side and like a pink one on this side, so ignore. But I did finish my eye look. I took this color like in the bottom part of the lower lash line here, just in the outer corner, and then I smoked it with this one right here. I'm kind of looking at this particular shade now, and like after kind of using it, even though it's a cooler tone brown, it does have a little bit of warmth in it and I do like it. So I can tell overall the quality of this, super blendable. I loved the eye look I created. It's super smoky. Every color is super complementary. I love the layout of this. 3 mattes, 3 shimmers. I loved every matte. I loved every shimmer. I think it's a overall great curated palette, and honestly, I love the shape of the pans. That's probably like my most criticized thing when I get shimmers is how small the pan is, because I have big fingers, and like when I'm wanting to use my finger to do the application. I find that like getting in it sometimes can be very difficult, and you know, sometimes just like the ease of the use in getting your finger in there, but also sometimes it applies the shimmer the best way. I just haven't found a way, even using silicone brushes, to like really duplicate what my finger can give sometimes. So I love that these are a decent size for someone with my kind of bigger hands, bigger fingers. I loved this palette. The quality was great. I love the price point. I'm super thrilled about this. You guys, if you've seen my recent video with the Pat McGrath bronzer, it wasn't my favorite. I'm not gonna lie, I think a lot of people like it. I mentioned in there, you're basically paying for the name, and someone said, you're not paying for the name. And then I'm like, well, yeah, you are. I mean, Pat McGrath has made her name in the industry, and therefore you are paying for her name. You're paying for her experience, but the formula wasn't necessarily the best that I've tried. Shade was really good, but I have a lot of good shades. So for me, I thought the bronzer was just okay, whereas I know that these are really, really good quality, like mattes and shimmers in this particular palette, even though they're not new shades. But I'm glad that I have this, because I don't have these shades in any of the other palettes. I might have like one, but in terms of like the warm tones, I don't have a lot of warm toned shadows or colors in the couple of palettes that I have from Pat McGrath. Most of them are very cool toned. So, and I definitely don't have like smoky shades. I have some of her other ones that are more pinky in color story. So I am super thrilled to get this. I really, really love warm tone shadows on my eye. And so I think that mostly having warm tone mattes in this, super good. But even if you're a cool tone lover, I could see you just loving these two mattes too. And I think that they were all really, really good quality. What do you guys think? I think it was like date night eye. So good. Every color looks super good. Do I think you can get more than one look out of this? Maybe 2 looks, but I don't care. Perfect travel palette. Don't even mind the size. Still okay with the price point. That is my take on it. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Carrie. I hope that you consider subscribing so you stick around. But until then, you guys, I will catch you all in my next video. Bye.